Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with a Millennial. I'm the Millennial Javeda Bay, and this is my bed. And it is our last Monday of September. We're most I'm pretty sure all of us are back in the swing of it. School has started. Yay! And with that, this is my last episode focused on like sex ed for college students because it's the end of the month, it's the end of Sexual Health Awareness Month, all that jazz. And with it being our final thing, I want to talk about first relationships in college. And by relationships I am meaning the more like DTR, boyfriend girlfriend, girlfriend, they friend, however you want to label it. But that type of relationship, and I'm not going to say that it's always monogamous, like obviously not, but like that first relationship where there's some commitment to each other, exclusivity if you will. So let's get into it. Javane, why are you talking about first relationships in college? Well, because for a lot of folks, they don't get into their first relationships until they've entered into college. That was the case with me. I did not have my first boyfriend until actually my senior year of college. And as someone that was like very much like focused on like my studies and my extracurriculars in high school, like I did not have like a full understanding of relationships when I was in college. And there's some things that had I known what to be aware of ahead of time, I probably could have avoided some stuff, but like that's neither here nor there anymore. And I just want to make sure that people are well educated so that way, we can minimize some stuff happening that doesn't need to happen. Um, and so it's especially important in the college setting, one, because a lot of folks are away from home. You don't have like the natural like protective circle that you would of like your parents and family and like being there to be like, who are you going out with? Like they need to come in so we can meet them. Like there aren't as many like safety precautions put in place because you are now an adult dating rather than being like a teenager dating and your parents having to make sure that like stuff is being considered. And so I just want to make sure that that information is with you so that way, you're good to go. Okay, but like, why does it matter? A relationship's a relationship. Yes, a relationship is a relationship. But if you don't know what's healthy or good in a relationship, then you could think that harmful red flag behaviors are normal and you will just be like, okay, I guess that's the way it goes. So this is that's why we talk about it. And you're probably like, okay, but like obviously, Jve, like it's 2025. We know red flags and green flags. Do we? Do we though? And I think it's also important to have this conversation as we are in this like very wonky time of the internet and like the pipelines are pipelining, okay? And people end up on these deep, dark sides of the internet and have these ideologies like fed to them, and they think that, oh yeah, this is right, and it's not. So but so I really want you to take into consideration, like, one, what do healthy relationships look like? Behaviors that you should probably be aware of and be like, I don't know about this. Firstly, like controlling behaviors. You are in college. You are literally living the best time of your life. Outside of like, I don't know, you probably got finals and stuff coming up, but like whatever. You are living the best time of your life. And so if you are with someone that is like, oh, you can't be doing XYZ things, unless they're over here trying to stop you from real like self harm or like illegal activities that's gonna get you wound up in prison, like no. Controlling behavior is like one of the first things that like you really do see crop up, especially in like college relationships, that a lot of people don't recognize as like potentially being dangerous or risky in their relationship. So like noticing like controlling things, like if they're like, oh, I don't like you hanging out with them, or like, oh, you can't go out tonight, I want you to spend time with me, like that type of controlling behavior should start to sound off some alarms. Like if they're like, I don't like your friend, I don't want you hanging out with them, like, do you not like my friend because like my friend obviously is like maybe not the best person, like they don't care about me, they like put me in dangerous situations themselves, like whatever it might be, but like, is it actually being said from a place of like, I'm trying to protect you and care for you, or is it being said from, I want you to do what I want you to do? Because if it's that way, that's not okay. And so like very common behaviors that are depicted, or common behaviors that show up, especially in like first relationships, if one person, this is their first relationship ever, is controlling behavior, because again, you don't know that this isn't normal because this is your first relationship. um so yeah, any controlling behaviors, we're gonna pay attention to that. Like, I don't know about this. I remember what Jave said. Also, relationships where they're pressuring you, especially if it's around sex. Send them my way. I'm gonna knock them out. But if you are feeling pressured by your partner to do anything, whether it be sexual, if they're like, oh, well, we should move in together because our leases are up and we still have one more year of school, but you're like, I don't really know, like that is pressure. That no, 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 no. We don't pressure people to do things that we want them to do. Like that's not the way relationships work. Platonic, romantic, sexual, no, that's coercion. We don't know. What? Absolutely not. So it's important to like recognize red flags, green flags in relationships. And if you're like, okay, give me more, I'm not gonna do in this whole video because that would take too long. But later this week on my website, I will have a blog post that it dives deep into red and green flags in first relationships that you should be looking out for and what to do if potentially things do go more red than green. So definitely keep an eye out on my social media platforms and my website for that blog article. But like you have to become aware of red and green flags so that way you know if things seem off. Also, just like trusting your gut. Like your intuition is extremely powerful. And if you start to get an off feeling about somebody that you are beginning to see or like have gotten into a relationship with, like listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. Okay? I'm saying that as someone who didn't. So, like, listen to your gut. Another reason that I wanted to talk about first relationships in college is because for a lot of folks, coming to college really like can like fan the flames of insecurity, especially if you happen to be someone that was never in a relationship and you look around and everybody else is dating, everybody has a boyfriend, everybody has a girlfriend, everybody is their partner, and you're like, am I doing something wrong? The ways that insecurities can lead us to make maybe not the best decisions is something that should be considered when we're talking about relationships in college. Because if you're over here just being like, I gotta find somebody because everybody else on my floor in my dorm has a partner, you more than likely aren't going to make the best decision. And that's no shade. Like that's just the truth of the matter. So if we are recognizing our insecurities around dating and relationships, we can better manage them to make better decisions. And at the end of the day, that's all I want. I just want you to make the best decision for you that you can. And if you don't have knowledge, you can't do that. So learning about red and green flags, starting to understand ourselves and like, is this because I want it or is it because I feel like I'm supposed to because everybody else is doing it? Because also, don't forget, there's no real like script on this. Life is truly like the most Mod Podge thing. Like we all have our own different paths. And if your path in college and in life in general is not to end up in a relationship, a committed relationship, a monogamous relationship, a polyamorous relationship, whatever, that is a-okay. Being single is a valid relationship status, and I see you and support you and love you. So also taking some time to consider that aspect, like really reflect on it, because do you have to be in a relationship? No, you can build relationships outside of like sexual romantic connections. That's what your friends are for in college. That's why you build community. So definitely want to like really want y'all to think about that. Like we just really just need to start normalizing not rushing into first relationships just because everybody else around us got one. Like just because you left home don't mean you need a little boo thing. You got a you thing, so just like focus on you. But in all seriousness, like it's really important that we recognize how the college experience can sometimes like sway us or push us or move us to do things that if we weren't seeing it happen so like heavily in our face, we wouldn't do it. Because for a lot of us, like there are plenty of people that don't have relationships in high school. But if you happen to be like all of your friends were in relationships, then you more than likely probably feel like, oh my gosh, I should probably be in a relationship. And the way college is set up, you're seeing so many different people, and it just feels like, oh my gosh, all I'm seeing is this thing happening in all these different scenarios because you kind of find your people and you stick to it and things like that. So just don't feel like you have to rush and do stuff because you're in college. For most folks, you got 4 years, if not more, to experience. So like maybe don't rush into a relationship just because it feels like everybody else has one. Especially if you yourself are still so deep in your self-discovery of who you are in college, like maybe not the best time to try and jump into a relationship. Okay? Other things to consider when it comes to first relationships in college, obviously everything I done talked about all month long. Your communication skills, work on them. that's for relationships in college, out of college. You can't be in a good relationship if you don't have good communication skills. Your solo journey in terms of like sexual exploration and pleasure needs to happen. If you're trying to get into a relationship, like, yes, y'all can discover together. But also, you already just like, if you don't have any type of like understanding of things and you're just kind of like, yeah, I get, it's just a lot easier if you have a little bit of your own understanding of yourself before you try and bring someone else into that. Okay. Um, Also, obviously, if we're talking relationships, we have to be talking about safer sex practices. Even if like the plan is not to engage in sexual activity with each other, still knowing things is extremely important. Okay. Okay. And also like relationships, you're still in college, which means you're still having to navigate like things like drugs and alcohol. So basically, make sure you watched everything from this month and make sure you head to my blog so that way you can learn about red flags, green flags, and everything else that you need to be aware of when it comes to your first relationship. Um, but just enjoy your college experience without the added pressure of like what society says you're supposed to be at. Like, there's no real benchmarks for the college experience. Like, maybe graduate if you want. Also, if you like, this is not for me, you don't have to. But there's no benchmarks of like, oh, okay, well, I've been in college for 2 years, so I need to have a relationship. No, you don't. Why do you need a relationship? Do you want one? No, you could do whatever you want. So just enjoy your college experience. Take advantage of the experiences that you can and that you want to, but don't feel that you have to do specific things all because media and movies and TV have said that this is the way the life plan goes. Like, no, the life plan can go however you want. And if you want to wait and not get into your first relationship until you've accomplished every life accomplishment that you want, do it. You can absolutely be 80 and not in a relationship yet because you're like, I have not climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. You can absolutely do that because we can find happiness, satisfaction, and everything else we need outside of sexual and romantic relationships. So yeah, that's that. I hope that this academic year is everything that you want it to be and so much more. I hope that this month you have gotten to learn a lot of stuff that you didn't get from other avenues because why are we not giving this information to college students? I don't know, but like whatever. And I hope that you subscribe to this YouTube channel because you're like, oh wait, Jve, you're a real one. I like this. I am. But yeah, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on all the social media platforms, and definitely make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter because next month is my time. Next month is my shit. And if you have ever had any interest in kink and BDSM, you don't want to miss it. But yeah, until next time, I'm gonna see you later. Deuces.